Some of you will remember this is the approach to what used to be Octel many moons ago. Octel was a chemical plant. The older viewers will remember it quite well. It was here during the war. I do believe it did make lead at one point and was involved with making bombs for the war. There is a lot more details to its history, but I won't go into it too much quite right now. But for the older viewers, I mean, those that used to remember this was the old sign, which I think there's pictures on the group. Can't quite remember without seeing what it says. It's caution. But yeah, and obviously somewhere along the line, just a bit further down here, the trains would cross from the main track, which is now the line from Northwich to Plumley and so forth, to Knutsford, etc. And the trains would cross along this road into Octel, mostly tankers to take the chemicals out. I think they did have another big plant in Runcorn, or that way, if memory serves me rightly. But yeah, it was quite a big plant, and I remember it quite well because I lived in Lostock Green, and most of us on a Sunday biked down here, and over to the left hand side they had numerous football pitches. They had a clubhouse, a bowling green, a few little rides for the kiddies in the later time of its life, and I do believe a really good cricket team at some point, which is once again there's history of that. I think you can see some of the lines there that used to come into the building. I will put some pictures on of the building at some point. I have a family group approaching me right now, so I will have to stop filming. But yeah, I'm going to get the drone up, show some footage of it. I do believe there's quite a lot of wagons here now, parked in where it used to be. But when you used to approach it, it used to make a hell of a noise. The fact there was water and steam coming out from everywhere. But I had fond memories. There was a bridge that used to cross around about here, an iron bridge, metal bridge that went across to the other side. And there's also a crossing at the railway a bit further down, which I can show you. So these were the railway lines I was talking about that came off the main line into the factory. And as I say, I've got some pictures on the group, which I will post. And the main front of the factory was just here, to the right of me, if I remember rightly. And it was like a weighbridge that you would go in to check in, like a security. Of course, now it's got a wagon. So walking alongside where the factory would be, I mean, if I remember rightly, I do remember rightly, it was very tall, and you would see loads of pipes along here. I say water evaporating, it would even spit off onto the side of the road, hissing and making all kinds of noise. And then across the way, the open field there, which I'll be able to get you some better footage of shortly, was where the football pitches were, and just down there was the children's playground with the bowling green to the right, and right in the centre was Octel itself, the club, which was used for the members. They could always go in and get a pint. I think I remember my dad going in a few times for a pint. But there'll be still some members on the group that were associated with Octel. And of course, it was threatened in the war. The Germans did try and bomb the place because of its contribution to what it made. And there is, around the corner from here, some of you have probably seen it on the group before, a little hut. Well, I was not to say a hut, it's made with bricks and stuff that you would have a guard in. And I would imagine back in the day, an armed guard at that. It's just still used, this road, quite often now for Ineos, as this brine pump's still quite active in the area. It just takes me back to my childhood, coming down here. And I think a lot of people use it now for walks. But the place was absolutely massive. We're sorry to see it shut, really, but like everything, time changes. And of course, you can cross here, which takes you down to the main bypass, to the bottom part of Lostock Triangle. And a bit further ahead of me is the Mobberley. Well, I don't think it's called Mobberley, but it's the signals, which once again I've got pictures of on the group. Eddie Stobart, not my favourite cup of tea, but we won't go into that. But these vehicles are all stored here. I don't know what for or if they're actually used. It's almost like a lorry graveyard. I'm into haulage myself. It's still my job, so I'm not quite sure. Maybe some of the members can tell me what it's used, what these are for. Some skeleton trailers here, and then just up to the right of me, a lot of you will remember, you probably fished it. There's a fishing pit that the members were entitled to fish. I don't think it's been fished for a long time. I think I and a couple of my mates snuck through the woods here to sneak in to fish it a few times. But yeah, it had quite a lot of big fish in. So I remember rightly, and I think there's a few people that have said they fished it before now. So shortly I'll get the drone up and let you have a look from the overhead view. So I managed to get through, and there used to be a fence back there. You can probably see it there, all been knocked back now, and you can easily get through. I remember jumping over a fence once and landing on a nail and having to go to Northwich Infirmary for a tetanus injection. Jumping over to sneak to have a look. But this was the pit. It used to have little spots around it. You can probably see the remainder of one there. Yeah, and it was a nice little fishing pit. It's quite covered in lily pads now. It was quite covered back in its day, to be fair. But obviously it's well overgrown now because it's not fished. Just have to be a little bit careful where I'm treading. So of course here would have been one. But there was some large fish in here. I'm sure some people make comments on what the fish were. I can't quite remember. I remember there being carp in here. But yeah, it's accessible. I think you used to sneak through back there in the day. There is, once again, pictures on the group of people fishing here. But yeah, as usual, these big companies, they often provided facilities for staff, as Brunamon did with theirs, Winnington Recreation Park, which I believe is closed. But this did the same with it, with having the club and the pitches, the cricket. Bit of a movement down there with my fish, but yeah, they did these things for the members, which was always a good thing, to be honest. But yeah, so I wasn't expecting to get in here. That's quite a pleasant surprise. But yeah, fond memories. Floating bed. Caught a few big ones here myself. You see a little shoal of fish down there. I don't know whether the camera can get it right. But yeah, Octel Pit. I'm sure it'll bring a few smiles on faces towards some of the members. So, just gone. We're coming down the side once again. The wagons are still parked here because it was a large place. And I'm still walking down the side. This is a little bit further than I expected to be. This was the building I was telling you about. Obviously, someone's decided to spray paint it, as you do. But you can see the little gun turrets. Unfortunately, you can't see that one now. It's a bit overgrown. I think you could last time I came in here. Obviously it's overgrown now. Someone's been having a fire. It looks like somebody might have been sleeping in there at some point. But yeah, it does look, it looks like somebody's been using it as a home. Kind of scary, but in this day and age, it doesn't shock me. But yeah, there's the place goes so deep with these trucks. I won't say trucks, the wagons, short liners, box fans. So we'll head back to the front.